Hey everyone, so this video is going to be an overview of roles in Tangram and how they work. So the first thing to cover is what a role is. A role is a type of user that can use your platform. So right now I'm logged into my test platform. I'm on the users table and there's this column here that says role. There are 3 roles available on this platform. There's administrators, vendors, and customers. And each role has different permissions set up that allow them to interact with the platform in a different way. Right now, I'm logged in as Aaron at tangram.co, an administrator account. So I have access to the Tangram menu, which lets you edit pages, fields, roles, listing types, and more. And then I also get a nav that's specific to admins. So if I click listings here, it brings me to the listings admin table. If I were to log in as Avery Thompson, it would show me completely different UI based on the role that I'm logged in as. So the most important thing is that Avery wouldn't want her to be able to modify the platform metadata and stuff like the fields, roles, listing types, etc. And we wouldn't want her to be able to use the admin users table, the admin transactions table, the admin listings table, etc. So if I were to log in as Avery, what I would see instead would be the corresponding pages, but localized to her role, if they're set up for my platform. As an admin, want her to see those pages. You can create custom systems to like show or hide different pages to different users, depending on what you want as well. But we'll get into that in our custom nav video. At a fundamental level, what roles do is allow you to manage permissions for different user types in your platform. I'm going to go to the roles table by clicking the roles tab in the Tangram menu when I click the wrench icon. And it brings me to this page that has role settings and then a dropdown. The value selected in the dropdown is the one you're modifying. So right now I'm modifying customers and I have access to a few tabs here. These will be different depending on the settings enabled in your platform, but I'll go through the important stuff in a brief overview of what they each do. So this first tab is just showing the basic data for the role, name, description. This field allows you to set where they're redirected after logging in. So right now, when a customer logs in, they go to the My Transactions page, which is the transactions table, but for that user. You can select an onboarding flow here. We're going to cover that in a later tutorial. Just don't worry about it for now. But basically, it lets you create a custom onboarding system for that user. So you can create custom pages that the user can go through during the onboarding process and collect data in the way that you want. But again, we're not going to get too deep on that right now. And then the last thing on here is profile redirect URL. You usually wouldn't use this unless you have a custom profile page, but what it would allow you to do is create a custom profile page and then pass the user data in the URL with the user ID. We're going to make a tutorial on that later as well. The next tab is capabilities, which are just the checkbox settings that enable or disable different things. So can customers create new listings? Can they create subscriptions, which let them collect recurring payments? Can they create invoices? Can they connect a bank account via Stripe Connect? This one's important. New users allowed to register as customers. For most roles, you would want to enable this, but there are exceptions like administrators. You never want to enable that because you generally don't want users to be able to create admin accounts. There are other examples of roles you might not want to be registerable, like if you as an admin want to manually be turning people into a certain role. Next, we have allow users to manage chat rooms, which gives the ability to create group chats and stuff. Some people don't want every user to be able to do that. Allow customers to upload videos. I'll just check this to show what it does. It basically makes it so that we add a data collection mechanism to the edit profile for this user type that says upload video. And from here, you can allow the user to upload custom videos that you can render on their profile. Most people don't enable that, but it's important to some people. Automatically approve new customers. What this will do is if you have this unchecked and a new customer signs up, you as an admin will be required to review the profile before it becomes approved. And what approved means, it shows in search results and stuff like that. Force login to view profiles. Basically, this will add a mechanism that will check if the user, if you view incognito a user's profile and you have this setting enabled, it will force you to log in. Force verification. Generally, you start with this disabled and you enable it when you want to verify email addresses, which you should start doing, start getting spam. But basically, it will email verification step that you see on a lot of platforms. Click this link to activate your account, and you can enable or disable that at the role level. And then hide names from public view will just make it so that first and last names are abbreviated. So sometimes you don't want to show like the first and last names of users, but generally that's not enabled. So next tab here is subscription. This allows you to create subscriptions for this user type. Subscriptions created in this menu will be offered to this user type. So if I add a subscription in this table, customers will be able to purchase it when they sign up. And there's a lot of associated setting stuff with that. I'm going to make a separate tutorial on how subscriptions work in the advanced guides, so I'm not going to get into this, but you should know that you can create subscriptions and offer them to your users via this menu. Field groups are another advanced functionality. Basically, what they allow you to do is create groups of field that can be arbitrarily added to profiles. So an example of when you'd want to use a group versus an individual field would be like if you want to collect education data, someone might have 3 degrees or they might have 5 degrees. So you'd create a field group for education, and then you'd allow people to like enter the data about each degree they have. I'll make another video on that as well in the advanced guides. And then finally, we have the navigation tab, which if you're using custom navigation, you won't use this tab at all. But this just shows you what tabs show up in the default Tangram nav in this menu. So if I go to admin, what I'll see is the links in that tab match what's in this, except the logout tab is always there. So that's a brief overview of what you can manage with roles. One thing I covered in the last video is you can enable or disable also the ability for users to switch roles. You can like add a custom role field to the edit profile page, and it will allow users to switch on their own, or you can switch them if you want to. And then one thing we're going to cover in later videos is the use case for roles in rendering custom pages. So by assigning users to roles, what you can do is create like custom directories that only show results from that role. So that's one of the reasons if you want to have directories of some types of users, for example, it's important to make sure that those users have their own role. But that's another thing that you'll have to watch the pages tutorial for to see more information on that once it's out. So hopefully that's been helpful. Please let us know in the comments if you have any questions about anything here, but otherwise have a great rest of your day.